Okay, every time I work out, I need to sweat. So I'm going to put a sweatsuit. And what I'm doing now, everything about striking is really be on your toes, you know. So that's why jump rope is so good, because you're always on your toes. And the reason for that is for the pivot. Every time you're going through a punch, the punch never comes from the arm, okay, and even the fist. What happens is like you rotate first, but it rotates from where? From your foot. Okay, so the rotation doesn't come from only the hips, only the knee. It comes straight from the foot. So watch the difference. This is how far I can go, you know, when I extend. And my foot is not turned. I didn't pivot my foot. This is how far I can go. Watch. Now I'm going to move my hips. This is my hips. This is how far I can go. Now watch this. Now I'm going to turn my foot. You see how much I gain? So it's really important just to focus on your footwork, and especially be on your toes, so you can really rotate. And the rotation, what's interesting about the rotation is, if you are flat-footed, you have more, you're going to have to use more strength for you to rotate, because now you have more of your foot hitting the ground. Okay, so you have more surface. But if you put yourself on your toes now, you see you have less surface. You know, the surface is, and you can go actually when you pivot, you can pivot even faster. Okay, and that's important. You know, between doing this and doing that. See the difference? So be on your toes is really important. So, and that's why we do a lot of jump rope. You know, and your calves are gonna get tired, obviously. And then we're gonna work on some footwork a little bit. So you can do that for approximately, like, I would say 2 minutes, and then you can stop. You can start stretching. Rotation of your torso. Also, this is really important so for the knees. I like to put myself in that position, which is not easy. You know. See, right now I'm on my toes. I should be flat, but because I'm not flexible yet, I haven't stretched for a while. Come back. And do that for another 2 minutes. And then we're going to start working on the footwork. So, something really important with the footwork, watch this. That's why I put my white socks so you can see the feet. There's 2 ways of doing it. So if I want to move forward, when we throw a jab, a lot of guys, that's what they do. They move forward and they jab, okay? Or they jab and move forward, okay? But this is how far you can go, half step. And the reason for that, watch, if I do the full step, I'm here. I'm totally out of balance. Okay, so there's another technique that you can use. You can actually move your back foot to hit the front foot. And this is what? what I gain. Okay, you're not going to use that all the time, but this could be really cool. If, for example, you're pretty far from your opponent and you're here and you want to gain all that distance, which is pretty far. Watch this. If I'm doing this, I can't get to him, but watch the difference. If I move my back foot to replace the front foot, watch what happened. Up, I'm right there. You see that? It's the same thing if you want to back off. So, again, so this thing, it has to be natural. So I'm here, striking, no, I get in. Again, I'm here, I strike, and I want to gain that distance, okay? 1, 2, 3, boom. All right. So right now we're going to work on the shadow boxing, okay? So shadow boxing, when I used to train at the Gleason's gym in New York, we used to spend at least 10 minutes in front of the mirror. And we used to look at ourselves and throw every punch. So when you see a lot of boxers, professional boxers, they look at the mirror. They look at themselves in the mirror. And then, you know, and they study their movement, okay? And then they realize, okay, my hands are coming down, you know, or maybe my fist is not tight enough when I finish a punch, because most of the time the boxers, they have their hand open. The hands are open before the strike, okay? And during that movement before we hit, you know, this is where we close it, okay? And we turn the fist right at the last second, okay? So again, and that's why shadow boxing is so important, but we don't do that anymore. I go to the gym, people don't do shadow boxing. Now, it used to be in the old days, but it was really cool. You see the old mirror, and the guys, oh, they used to be so beautiful to watch. You know, they used to. Full body, and you know, so you can move forward and stuff. This one is very narrow, but you know, that's, so the mirror's here. I'm gonna look it. So that's what we use to shadow box. So you can start with the jab, let it loose, loose, right hand. See how much I pivot, and then I'll let go right here. I don't do this, and then turn. I turn and let go of the punch. Okay? I launch it. what we're going to work on is on the Physio ball. And I think the Physio ball is really good for low impact, but still have the MMA in our mind and as a workout without any partner. Okay, and it's really good. I mean, you're going to feel it. He's going to stretch you. He's going to give you that impact, you know, from up down, you know, that gravity that we have on our chest, you know, which is hard. So the big difference when guys are coming from striking, so striking, we're breathing from the chest, you know, everything's here. Now, as soon as you're on the ground, it's different because you have gravity. So your gravity is pushing on your chest or your tummy, and you have to start to change your breathing. And that's why it's hard to make the transition at the beginning, especially guys that comes from striking. When they go on the ground, they're going to get exhausted pretty fast because guys on the ground, they know how to use their weight and how to squash the guys, and how to put a lot of weight on them. Even if you're, let's say, 155 pounds, sometimes you feel like the guy is 230 pounds, you know. So, and that's because those guys know how to use their weight, and it's very hard on you. So you can't have guys, you know, at 300 pounds, and the guy is like 185, you know, and the guy at 300 pounds is like, holy shit, you know, this is like tough on, because a lot of weight. So this is what we're going to work on, and if I put my weight a little bit too much to the right side, it's going to move to the right, to the left, forward, and backward. This is what we're going to use a lot. And the reason is because when we go on the ground and we fight, and it's only you're on the ground, you're on the top of the ball, you got to control the ball from rolling off. Okay? So you see right now, if I put my weight, center of gravity goes that way. If I keep going, well, it's going to roll off. Okay? So what we want to do is a control. We're going to control the ball. Okay? All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to control with my knees. So because I have a sweatsuit, sometimes, you know, I can't really control the ball. But if I lift it up and I have only my skin, it's a bit easier. You know, now I can control it. Anyway, I'm going to keep with it. Alright. So, and I'm going to press down. The press down would be like having our knee on his chest, you know, and then we can strike. Okay, so the same principle here. We put our knee and we press down to make sure that he has pressure on his chest, so we control the body from rolling off, and we strike. Now watch the switch. Put your hands on the Physio ball, and I'm gonna release this knee when the other one get to the same position. So it's 1 and 2. Okay, again, from here, knees here. I'm gonna replace it. It's really important because if I don't do that, if I leave a gap and I'm here and I do this, the guy is gonna roll off. Okay, so again, if I'm here and I want to switch to the other side, I'm going to have to clear his knees. So I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder. On his shoulder, I'm going to switch. You're going to see the same movement. See that? So I'm going to put this on his shoulder. Switch. Here, down and punch. Switch. So we're here, strike. Here, striking, switching.